and a lot of the the imagery that they used in their posters or the just items that they brought with them were referring mostly to the film about Putin. The main symbol of this, the main symbol of the protests, became actually a toilet brush.
Why is that?
Because in the film it says that in the on the farthest end of like Putin's sort of like estate, in a place where they just make wine and stuff, and like he never actually goes there himself. So basically, it's like the least important building of the whole thing. The toilet brushes in the toilet cost €1,000.
Wow.
Because they come from like a factory, like literally like golden toilet brushes. Sure. So toilet brush became like the like I bought a toilet brush. Everybody bought a toilet brush, and it was the main symbol of this.
Did you feel like it was dangerous to be there? I mean, I read like 2,500 people got arrested at these rallies.
More, especially on the second one. There's even more. I think the police, like this time it went, I think Putin kind of mixing up with Lukashenko recently a lot kind of helped him find a way to deal with this, because now it has been probably the hardest and, the most violent behavior by the police than ever before.
How normal is protesting usually? Like, is it? Because in my mind, I didn't think they protested. You were allowed much in Russia to freely protest.
Well, the point is that it's kind of they did this trick with the legislation. Of course, in our constitution, we have this idea that like every people can peacefully, without arms, without anything, can gather and rally and speak their mind and whatever. And this is in the Russian constitution, yes. But then they kind of passed this law about like mass gatherings, which it says that to organize some kind of rally or mass gathering, they should notify the government. It still doesn't go against the constitution, so that they need to be notified, not to ask for permission. But on practice, they say we notify that we want to do it here, and they say, oh, we actually have like a flower festival here or like whatever, and so you can't do it here, you can't do it here. So, but you're welcome to a rally like outside town on some former like tank training ground or whatever. Like literally.
Yeah, 10 miles outside of the city, no problem.
Yeah.
Because I was impressed.
In practice, and then they changed the language of this. So, firstly, it would be a rally which is not permitted, and then it's now they call it illegal, which is there's no such thing as an illegal rally, but since all the state media has been calling it illegal, that they try to form the opinion of the people who watch the state media that these people are criminals and they deserve to be beaten up by the police and put in jail.
So did you feel like you were in danger at all?
Well, everybody was in danger. Like, I mean, of course, the closest you are physically to the police, like their vans and everything, the more you are in danger. I wasn't in the immediate danger, but you're always in some sort of danger, And many people after this were detained for a long time, and this was also the difference because all the like temporary cells for this sort of thing in Moscow were full. So they would take them outside of Moscow, and people would wait for like a few days without food in the vans, and like just pissing on each other. I mean,
in vans
on the floor. Yeah.
We saw videos of people like I saw them here of people like throwing snowballs at police officers and whatnot. And
there was a bit of that. But the point is
bravery, but they all arrested afterwards.
Yeah, but the point is like there's never been this harsh, and so many people who grew up in like. Like there is a lot of problems with freedom, but they never actually, spent like 10 days in a cell for 8 people with 30 people in.
Yeah.
And in prisons in Russia and all sorts of like cells, they're horrible. They kind of like they don't have a proper toilet, and it's just basically the room, and there's a hole in the corner, and that's it. Like that's where you do your business.
Have you gone to prison for any of these rallies? No.
But one of the comedians which performed with us actually went there for about 10 days this time. And so, I think on the first rally, he got detained, and he spent about 10 days there. And it was like he needs to get some. As he says, he needs to get some, like not therapy, because Russians don't believe in therapy, but some kind of like
Vodka?
a time, just a time on his own to kind of get used that he can actually go to the toilet without, 20 people looking at you.
Oh
and,
God,
we
can get him. There's a lot of
normal.
There's an
Sleep
abundance of therapists in New York City. We can get him a Zoom therapist.
He wants to be a comedian in American. You do therapy. That's part of the shtick. So.
But it's not because you got put in prison for 10 days in a Russian prison.
Because your mom was mean to you.
Yeah, your mom was mean to you 30 years ago and nicer to your brother. And so now
I got this poetic image a little bit from this first rally, which because on Pushkinskaya Square is the first McDonald's which opened in the Russia, that one.
Where's the Carl's Jr.?
The 1980s one, yeah. And during it, of course, during the rally, like they didn't admit people to, at some point, like because there's too many of them, didn't admit anybody in to eat, but you could get in if you say the magic word, which is, can I go to the toilet, please? Because McDonald's, I don't know how it is in America, but in Russia, it's primarily a toilet. And then, like everything else, like a free toilet, because we have like not enough of them. So free toilet is first, and everything else is just, like some kind of fluff that, you Americans use to break our natural cultural code and stuff. So, and so the point is, right, I wanted to finish this bit that, and everybody went there, and people the protesters went there, and the riot police in full equipment also just went, can I go to the toilet, please? And, they kind of went down the stair. We all went down the stairs, side by side, and there was no hostility, it was, and like, standing at the urinal next to each other, there was no hostility. I remember,
urinals unite people.
Yeah, you remember in in the Book of Jungle, by Rudyard Kipling, they had such thing as the water truce, is when there's not enough water in the jungle, the predators and the prey, they all stand side by side at the river, and nobody attacks anybody. And that reminded me of that, like if you need to go to the toilet, there's no police and rioters. It's just people.
It's amazing. And that's really like such a basic necessity that ultimately in this entire protest for Navalny, McDonald's employees are the real ones in charge. Because if they don't let you
they're going to negotiate the peace deal.
They don't let you in, you can't go to the bathroom, and then you're done, whether you're a cop or whoever you are. So did you see people getting arrested while you were there?
Yes, a lot. And sometimes people try to kind of, grab them, in conflict. Like in Russia, that's the most important thing. And this is the thing which unites, which is common in Russian and Belarusian protests. Unlike, for example, protests like in France or in America, that they're completely non-violent. There's literally nothing violent about them. There's nobody, like there is a video, or basically there was one guy who was from Chechnya, but he got very agitated, and he actually had a fight with a police officer and kicked some ass, and we all for him, of course, but he's obviously going to jail for a longer time for this.
Right. You don't there's no violence because there's real consequences, what you mean. Like,
but there's no violence because people, they don't, in post-Soviet countries, like with all the civil wars in the 20th century and all this sort of history of repressions, people are not quick to jump to violence. And, and he did that just not because he premeditated, just because he just kind of got agitated really quickly because he's like Southern, blood and this sort of thing. He just got, into a fight. So the point is, they're completely non-violent, and there is a video, quite a horrible video in St. Petersburg, and just people are carrying a guy into the van, and a 50-year-old woman just comes to talk to them. Oh, why are you taking him there? What did he do?
Yeah.
And then the policeman just kicks her in the stomach and just falls, and she just goes flying and concrete.
It was like that Buffalo guy we had in America, that old man who got knocked over.
Yeah. I
remember awful. That. I saw that. Kicked her in the stomach. Yeah.
But that's the difference, because in France and in America as well, the storming the Capitol, everything is people, and in general, people are actually able to have, they can have guns with them. In Russia, in Belarus, the protests are completely peaceful, and there's not a single video or any sort of evidence which would prove otherwise, apart from like some incidents which clearly aren't premeditated, like the one with the Chechen guy. Yeah. And so the police violence is completely unjustified. And so what they do is they try to, make people fear, make people afraid to go to peaceful rallies, which they have the right to,